And welcome to ANC Decides, the show that brings you the ANC presidential race as it happens. I'm your host, Mfundo Mabalani. First, let's take a look at ANC election race headlines. The KZN PEC appeals the Pietermaritzburg High Court ruling which nullified the outcome of the 2015 Provincial Elective Conference. This comes a day before the ANC NEC is likely to meet over the KZN ANC leadership matter. Tense standoff in East London ahead of ANC's Provincial Elective Conference in the Eastern Cape. And former ANC Treasurer General Matthews Phosa kickstarts his presidential campaign. Phosa is set to address 28 branches in Zachariah Park, south of Johannesburg. The KwaZulu-Natal ANC will appeal the Pietermaritzburg High Court ruling which nullified the results of the 2015 PEC. Now, the decision comes a day ahead of the party's NEC, which had to make a final call on the appeal matter. Earlier today, the KwaZulu-Natal leadership said it would wait for the National Executive Committee to meet on Friday before deciding on further steps.
We decide that, look, we understand that you needed to do this because as I said, the question of time is fundamentally important. But if in their own wisdom, they are convinced that it is not necessary to proceed with it. I said it before and I want to repeat it again, that the PEC is committed to take instructions from the National Executive Committee of the ANC. We will take instructions from the NEC. We have also made it very clear then, and we want to repeat it now, that as an ANC Provincial Executive Committee, we are also not hostile, were amenable to the possibility that even despite the fact that the matters are still in the court of law, if in the wisdom of the National Executive Committee to be in the best interest of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal to reconvene the Provincial Conference of the ANC, we have said it before and want to reconfirm that we will not have a problem with that decision taken by the NEC. But it's important, as we've argued before the NEC, and the NEC to a larger extent understood the position we hold, that to leave this judgment unchallenged has got wider and profoundly significant implications to the running the ANC and its own affairs.
We received a notice through our lawyers that Sihle and others have filed a notice with the Pietermaritzburg High Court to appeal the decision of the court to declare the 8th Provincial Conference unlawful. There are a basket of concerns. One, it's the whole issue of public confidence to the African National Congress and its rich heritage and history of selflessness. But again, the ANC is in government, and any instability in the ANC is a cause of concern, in particular with the challenges that we have of unemployment and so on. So we are seriously concerned. We hope that there will be a political solution provided by the National Executive Committee. We still believe that they have a capacity and a will to resolve this thing.
Now in studio, we're joined by President of Transform RSA, Adil Nchabeleng. Adil, welcome to ANC Decides.
Thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Now, starting with the story, KZN. The PEC has now decided just a day before the NEC sits to go and file this application to appeal. What do you make of this? Is there perhaps now this tug of war between the PEC and KZN and the NEC?
The appeal by the KZN, was expected. From the onset, we already predicted that there will be an appeal with regards to the High Court judgment that actually nullified the, sitting of the PEC of the, KwaZulu-Natal. So this is an expected move. It's something that should not be seen as an arrow towards the NEC or a creating of a factionary battle between the NEC. This is an expected process. All court-based outcomes, usually by nature of court processes and proceedings, are usually appealed as a result of the disgruntled individual who either lost in the case. They would usually apply for an appeal. And in this case, it is a really required, needed appeal because Imagine the mess that the judgment has already created within the political structures. You have a province that is currently divided with regards to the legitimacy of the leadership. So an appeal is quite required, and at this stage we need to see the stabilization, particularly of KZN, and going into an era whereby we can see a political structuring whereby the necessary candidates that are canvassing for support can be supported properly by a well-constituted PEC within the province.
But now you seem to argue this so eloquently. So where's the disconnect? How come the NEC was of the view that, yes, we accept this ruling, but we need to first go and consult? We'll be speaking to council and find out if indeed there's a need for us to go on to appeal based on certain sections there.
Remember, the decision primarily sits at the province. The province is the one that was actually the appeal. The decision was finding against the province. So the decision will actually be followed by the province point of view to say they feel disgruntled enough to say they are launching a very strong appeal that says that they have been given a judgment that was untowards them, and as a result, they want to further understand what was the reason the court took the decision to judge against them. So the appeal is quite necessary. If you leave KZN, for instance, with the current political status right now, you already have a split conference going towards the December 2017 in terms of ANC conference, because there would not be a strongly constituted ANC conference with the current leadership dilemma that we're finding within KZN. So the appeal is quite necessary. The NEC must be persuaded to understand that it is actually in the strength and the need for ANC to unite so that it can move forward going into the conference.
No, actually, hold that thought. I want us to still speak more about the PC and its strength. We move on to our next story. It seems the battle lines are drawn in the Eastern Cape's Provincial Congress. The Provincial Secretary's supporters are gearing up to unseat the current chairperson. Oscar Mabuyane is facing off with Phumulo Masualle in the battle to lead the Eastern Cape. Mabuyane's supporters, who are from the OR Tambo and Alfred Nzo regions, say it's time for the province to get a new leadership. The imminent leadership change is expected to have an impact on the outcomes of the ANC's National Conference in December.
About 1,700 delegates expected for the ANC Eastern Cape 8th PGC after 658 branches held successful AGMs. Now let's hear what the delegates are expecting for the conference.
I'm expecting to see Oscar Lubabalo Mabuyane to be right into chairmanship.
In this conference, I'm hoping to see a united leadership that will be able to lead this province into the national conference that will unite ANC at the national level.
We are happy with this branch's decision to give Oscar Mabuyane a mandate to lead the Eastern Cape branch because he's coming from the ANC Youth League ranks. He knows the challenges of the province.
And now we cross over to our reporter Nomusa Phungula, who's out in the Eastern Cape. Now, Nomusa, a very warm welcome to you. I know there were glitches today a bit earlier on. Has the conference in fact started? It's supposed to be day one.
Well, indeed, Nomfundo, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your guest and the viewers at home. It has been a very windy day here in the East London. However, delegates have made sure that they came out in numbers and started with the registration. However, they've only managed to do the pre-registration. The process of being able, or the process of being given the tags that give them access to the conference have not been issued yet. And we are told that it is because the PEC is still in a meeting with the NEC. That meeting, Nomfundo, has taken the whole day. Till now, the delegates are waiting to be given their text that will give them access to the conference. The conference that is supposed to officially start tomorrow. The deliberations are officially supposed to start tomorrow, as today was designated for registration. However, I am joined by delegates from different branches within the province who are just going to share with me what is it exactly that they expect in terms of leadership, in terms of policy discussions as they move forward to the December elective conference. Kenny, I understand that you are a delegate from your branch, Endlovini branch, at the Sarah Baartman region. What did Endlovini branch send you here to do?
Inkosi Msasazi. Pha eSarah Baartman, eKokama sub-region, eNdloveni branch ward 5. Ndithunywe into yokuba sizonyula uOscar Mabuyane asikhokhele as uchair. Last year besine elections and iziphumo khange zibe sihle. Sibe nokuqaphela kwento ethi kweliphondo ukuze sikwazi uba notshintsho abantu baphinde babuyele embuthweni. We need abantu abazothi basikhokhele baye ebantwini egroundini. Yiloo nto yabanye basafuna uOscar ngoba siyamazi usibonisile for 8 years ekula office ka secretary. Siyazi into yobana whenever simfune efunwa ngamasebe uyaya ayoncedisa. Then loo nto yasibonisa ukuthi xa enothi bengusihlalo zininzi inkalo anothi azivelele ukuncedisana ne-ANC apha Eastern Cape izinga layo likhule ukuncedisana ne-ANC apha Eastern Cape ngo-2019 elections zikhawuleze ziphinde zinyuke. Enkosi Msasazi.
Thank you kakhulu Kenny. Now Zinzi, I understand that you are with the ANC Youth League in the province. Now, as someone who also comes from a branch, because remember, before you are an ANC Youth League PEC member, you come from a branch. What is the mandate that you were given from your branch, or the mandate or the decision that was taken by the branch with regards to this conference?
The mandate was that we should elect OM17. Which is my cap here. It says it's Oscar Mabuyane, Mvoko, the deputy chairperson, the secretary Ngwaito Bilulama was currently the secretary of OR Tambo, and Helen August, who was currently the deputy secretary of the ANC in the province, to come again, and also Babalo Matigizela to be the treasurer of the ANC of the ANC. The reason for that is because, as Kendi have said, that we need leaders who are grounded. We need change. I believe that, as we know, that the current chairperson, the current leadership has been in, and there is nothing that they can do again. 2 terms for the current chairperson. At least he can go to the NEC. But in the province, we want change. As we also want change in the NEC. CR17, that's what we are going for. And here in the province, OM17. We believe that we want people who can relate with young people. And we believe that OM17, Oscar Mabuyane, with his collective, are going to drive that. As young people, it's economic freedom in our lifetime.
Well, thank you so much, Zinzi. The Youth League is very vocal in terms of economic radical transformation. But also, I am joined by Viwe. Viwe, I understand that you're also a member of the branch. Now, in terms of policies, what exactly are the branches of Eastern Cape want to discuss in this conference? Understanding that they've been saying that they want unity, they also want Oscar Mabuyane, most of the branches, to take the position of chairmanship. Now, in terms of policies, where do you stand as branches?
Yes, thank you very much. I think, firstly, let's agree that we are in another phase in our struggle. As we talk of the radical economic transformation, it as well must go with the radical leadership transformation. I think as the branches in Eastern Cape, we agreed very clearly, as you can see, that the only person now who can take us where we want to go is the comrade of the character of Oscar Mabuyane and his collective, looking on what are the current challenges facing the African National Congress. That's why we are very so clearly in terms of electing Oscar Mabuyane and his collective. As you can see, they are very young, energetic, and very clear in terms of a radical transformation.
Indeed,
thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you. Well, those were some of the branch members expressing why they want Oscar Mabuyane to take the chairmanship position for this particular province. One message that has been carrying on throughout the day is that the province needs and wants change. Looking at the 2016 local government elections, which led to the province losing their economic hub, which is the Nelson Mandela Bay. Back to you in studio.
No, thank you very much, Nomusa. We'll certainly speak as you enter day 1 tomorrow of that conference. That is our reporter out in East London, Nomusa Pungula, out there, just giving us the first day of a feel of that conference that seems to have been delaying the whole day, and will certainly be unpacking all the dynamics from there with our guest today, Adilan Chabaleng. But on to Mpumalanga. Now, the ANC's Mpumalanga region has held an extended secretariat meeting in preparation for the December elective conference. Now, the meeting held in Bombela is set to lay the foundation for Mpumalanga's delegation to the ANC's national conference. Once the provincial secretariat has deliberated on the branch audit outcomes, the branches can start holding general meetings to nominate candidates for the ANC presidency. Mpumalanga is said to have the fastest growing ANC membership, and its leadership choice is likely to influence the conference outcomes.
The whole country knows that we are going for our branch general meetings, whereby we are going to nominate delegates to the national conference. And as the African National Congress in this region today, we did hold an extended secretariat meeting which was called by the province. We want the processes of nominations to be free and fair, and also which is going to bring about unity as day in and day out as the ANC in this region.
And we now cross to our reporter Lemukang Foke out in Mpumalanga. Lemu, a very good afternoon to you. We understand that today they had their chairs, or at least the regional chairs, met today ahead of the BGMs. What exactly took place there, and if possible, what were the outcomes?
Very good afternoon, Fundo. Thank you very much. Just a point of correction, it was an extended secretariat meeting where we saw secretaries of all four regions coming together with the provincial secretary, and this forms part of the preparations that go in place before the BGMs, which will go into effect by next week. And I'm now joined by the regional secretary, Phazamisa Mati, with me of Nhlanzeni, just to talk to us about, the outcomes of that meetings, and also just to explain further as to what happens now before those very important BGMs. Phazamisa, thank you so much for joining us. You did have an extended secretariat meeting today, but what happens at regional level moving forward?
Yeah, thank you very much. Firstly, before I respond to that particular question, I think I need to state categorically clear that as the African National Congress, we are very much delighted that yesterday we have managed to retain Ward 10 at Nkomazi, overwhelmingly so, with a percentage of 87.4%. And we have done that through the support of all the structures of the ANC. And we are very much thankful to all the community of Ward 10 at Nkomazi, especially PIVA Block A. And also we want to thank all the communities of Nkomazi for assisting us, as well as members of the ANC from Mbombela, councillors, and also volunteers of the African National Congress, and all structures of the ANC Women's League, the ANC Youth League, the ANC Mother Body for their support, to say we are for the ANC, we are volunteers of the ANC, and we want to show the country that the ANC is alive at Mbombela, the ANC is alive at Nhlanzeni, the ANC is alive in Mpumalanga. And in terms of our secretariat meeting today, as the country knows that we are all going to the national conferences, the African National Congress. As I'm speaking currently, we are going to have a meeting with all structures of the ANC at the regional level, structures of the ANC at the sub-regional level, structures of the ANC at the zonal level, whereby we are going to deal with the issue of preparation for the branch general meetings, which are going to start possibly by next week, whereby all structures of the ANC, especially branches of the ANC, needs to have a clear understanding as to what is it that is expected from them, and also members of the ANC to understand exactly the aims and objectives of all those PGMs and what is it that we want to achieve as the African National Congress in preparation for the national conference. Basically, we want to say categorically clear that as the ANC here in the region, we want to make sure that the processes going to the PGMs of the ANC are free and fair, and all members of the ANC in good standing do participate, and we are quite convinced that all our branches are going to make it towards the PGMs of the ANC.
Well, thank you very much, Phazamisa Mati, the Regional Secretary of eHlanzeni Region here in Mbombela, just laying the foundation for us in terms of what happened in that extended Secretariat meeting, and also the work that they will be putting in ahead of those BGMs expected to start as soon as next week. And I think our focus will then turn to those branches, just to focus on what it is that is being deliberated on, is being the point of discussion in terms of leadership and policies ahead of the elective conference in December. Fundo, back to you.
Thank you very much, Lemogang, who's out in Mpumalanga there talking to Phazamisa Mati, who's the eHlanzeni secretary. We now toss it back to studio, Mpumalanga. Now, Mpumalanga is the stronghold of the ANC. And the chair there seems to have consolidated his province. He has it behind him, so essentially making him somewhat of a kingmaker in this contest. But he's kept his cards to his chest. We still don't know who they're supporting, but he says all of this is because of unity. What's your take? Is it really for unity?
I think the stance between the Mpumalanga strategic point of view of saying keeping things to the chest is very quite good, because remember, currently the branches, particularly the branches within provinces, are all going out to support independent individual candidates. Remember, all of this support that is coming out of the provinces is indicating towards various support, which is the 7 candidates that have stood out and are actually candidates that are running for the presidential head of the ANC. So to have, for instance, a province, in this case, sit quietly and saying, we are going to be, as one of the second or third largest province, we are going to find a way of actually amalgamating our support towards seeing what the emergence of the last day will be. Remember, they might actually start pronouncing on their last run of the race. Right now, they are sparing a lot of energy. They are making sure that they can evaluate as to who are the candidates that possibly can lean towards their interest. Provinces are not selecting leaders because of interest, except for the person who's going to represent their particular interest. So within the ANC, a culture of presidents becoming the mouthpiece of provinces is very critical. And they are going to select on the basis that the most particular candidate who is pro their interest will be the one that they support. Like, for instance, you have currently in Gauteng, you know already what is the presidential preferences.
We actually want to speak about Gauteng, especially the regional dynamics there, especially what we've seen in Ekurhuleni. We actually now cross over to our reporter, Sindisiwe Twala, who's following the Matthews Phosa on the campaign trail at Zachariah Park. Sindisiwe, welcome to you. You're at Zachariah Park today?
A very good day to you, Nomfundo, as well as the viewers at home. Like you've correctly cited, we've been covering the width and breadth of Gauteng, and today we're in Zachariah Park, where we're following the campaign trail of Matthew Phosa, a person who's been in the ANC for over 50 years and in the movement, who has now put in his hat as well and said that he's also running in to be a president at the end of the elective conference, who'd also like to be selected. But just in the sake of time, I have one of the campaigners, Lipson, on my side to elaborate as to how many branches have endorsed him thus far. A very, very good day to you. How many branches have endorsed Matthew Phosa thus far?
I think we do have enough branches for us to reach the ballot paper come December conference. We have been nominated in almost 9 provinces. We are in Limpopo this weekend, as we were invited by 28 branches today in the south of Johannesburg to come and endorse our campaign. So we are very much happy with the campaign, how it's going. Now, we should not be worried going to December conference. We are doing very well in terms of the branch nominations. We can safely say we'll be in the ballot paper. What is left is for us to say, how do we then win the conference? That's where we are at this particular stage. We are not worried in terms of reaching threshold like other candidates.
Thank you so much. For the sake of time, I'm going to move to another ward, a community leader rather. A very good day to you. From your perspective, do you think that Tubab Matthew Phosa is in the running, and what ward are you from?
I'm from Ward 2 in Orange Farm. Yes, he's in the run. We're expecting a leader that is going to unite the ANC. So I think Matthew Phosa is going to be one of those leaders, the leader that is going to unite the ANC, since, well, the ANC is divided.
Thank you so much. That was a community leader. For the sake of time, I'm going to move to a young person in 10 seconds. Why are you here? Are you endorsing Matthew Phosa?
Yebo mina ngilapha sihamba no Matthew Phosa ngoba obviously ne trust kuye iveteran lethu SAAC and then sinethemba ukuthi uzotshintsha izinto eziningi lezi ezisibona ku ward yethu nalapha kuMzansi wonke ngoba siyayazi ANC ayisafana nakudala sine trust siyabonga.
Thank you so much. And closing it off, angesihlale singakhulumi nomuntu omdala. Mama, ubona ngathi Matthew Phosa unethuba kuthaphatha?
Ngibona ngathi unethuba, mhlawumbe uzasenzela izinto ezi-right. Njoba izinto azihambi kahle. I-ANC iphathile sesizwe izinto eziningi abazenzayo ama-corruption inani. Mrs. Phosa siyamsekela.
Thank you so much. That was a range of different people all across Zachariah Park, basically saying that they support Matthew Phosa and they want him to be the next president. They've also cited that they want to support him and they're going to continue to do so until he reaches the ballot box. Back to you in studio, Mfundo.
No, thank you very much, Cindy, for that. We'll talk to you as this race progresses. That's our reporter, Cindy Siwetwala, who's out in the south of Gauteng today, where Matthew Phosa has officially kick-started his campaign. Now, the debate about the ANC deputy president being the neutral successor rages on. The ANC Secretary-General sparked the debate with his tweets, which endorsed Cyril Ramaphosa. An undated video clip of former President Thabo Mbeki dismissing the notion that it's ANC tradition for the deputy to become president has added a new twist to that debate.
There's a separate process. We will do a list process next year, which will select those people. Because there's nothing automatic about being president of the ANC. There's no such tradition. And indeed, I'm saying that I don't believe that we could have established something you would call a tradition in 13 years. So the ANC has confirmed this, that these are two separate processes.
Now, Mantashe tweeted that if the ANC did not elect Ramaphosa as the next leader, the party would be plunged into crisis. Mantashe cited examples to support this position. Mantashe's tweets about Ramaphosa sparked a backlash from other ANC leaders, including Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, who said Mantashe had his facts wrong. The jury is now out on whether Mbeki's statement will settle the debate once and for all.
Even an existing person in that position, after 5 years, if we still want that person needs to be elected and can be contested. And we have seen it happen. It's not, I'm not telling a story, I'm talking facts. So there is nothing in the Constitution that says there are positions that are preserved for deputies. There is no such. Every position is contested.
Now, Adele, that tradition issue, it seems to be the most contentious at this point. Now, at the very least, since 1952 until 2007, this tradition or pattern has applied. I mean, many know of what happened in 1949, the battle between Dr. Xuma and J.S. Moroka, that led to them concluding that this should be a guide going forward, that the deputy will go on to succeed the president. What do you make now of this, where some deny, some acknowledge this tradition? Can it be called a tradition if it's something that has continued for a longer period?
Let's go back to the Mangaung scenario. In Mangaung, Cyril Ramaphosa, as deputy president of the ANC, entered the race from not even having had to contest directly from the grassroots. He was selected as an individual of credibility, someone who had a background of good, strong business background and had the means by which he could actually support the campaign. So the aspect that there is a tradition within the ANC, our knowledge says no, there is no such a tradition. This is a precedence, by the way, which was actually forced within the culture of the ANC, which was started by a discussion, if I recall very well, within the Northern Cape, that they said that there exists a tradition that whereby a deputy actually should enter
Zamani
into.
Saul actually was the one
Correct.
that said
So
that he wrote an article. Unfortunately, we
it's
have
an
to end it.
incorrect view.
I wish we could actually deliberate or debate it a bit further, but that's where we have to end it. Thank you very much, Adil, for joining us. Now, so on our show, ANC Decides, we'll be putting out questions for our viewers, particularly ANC members, on issues relevant to the December conference. Now, this week, on our poll question, which we will then talk about tomorrow extensively, is should President Zuma stay in office until 2019? That's this week's poll question. So we encourage ANC branch members to send their replies on Twitter, hashtag ANC Decides. You can also log on to our website, www.ann7.com, and that's where we leave it today.